Hello everyone, Howard here, welcome back. I'm a watch enthusiast, I'm not a watch professional or anything like that. I don't work in the watch industry, but I love watches, so I use my spare time to try to find interesting watches and do some reviews. And I really appreciate all your support, and if you find the video interesting or helpful, please consider subscribing as well. So today I'm looking at a pretty neat one, Zenith Chronomaster Sport with white dial. And if you follow watches, when you talk about Zenith, two things come to your mind right away. Number one, the Zenith Pilot watch. Only Zenith can use the name Pilot on their watch. No other watch brands can put the words Pilot because they're the first one who basically trademarked the name Pilot. So that's pretty cool. And they have a lot of Pilot watches. But more famous than anything else is probably their El PRIMERO chronograph engine. That's the thing that if you follow sports watches, chronographs, the El PRIMERO movement is basically, one of the most impressive out there. In fact, this movement was introduced in 1969. It's been 50 plus years? That's crazy. And when it was introduced in 1969, it had a 5 hertz, 36,600 VPH, vibration per hour movement, which was really uncommon at the time. So in theory, that movement can allow you to track chronograph to 1/10 of a second, not just one second, right? But Zenith hasn't really put that into function until recently. So this one, obviously introduced in 2021 last year, showcases this impressive 1/10 of a second movement. But before we get to the movement, the other thing I think people kind of know is everyone knows the Rolex Daytona. It's their dream watch, but Daytona basically used the El PRIMERO movement from Zenith until 2000 when Rolex developed their own chronographic movement, right? So, every watch people, if you follow chronographs, the legendary position Zenith holds in the high horology. Some basic stats. It's a 41 millimeter case. It's a good size, not too big, not too small. 13.6 millimeters thick. Lug to lug, I think it's 46.8. So not too bad at all. Because you can see outside of the case, this lug is basically ends pretty quickly right here with a little rectangle ending. Then the lug width is about 20, starting here. Sapphire crystal with reflective treatment on both sides. Caliber is obviously introduced in 1969. I think it's 60-hour power reserve, 100 meters, 330 feet. I think that's pretty basic. In terms of the case, polished, stainless steel, mostly the shoulders. It's nickel finish, polished on the side. The bracelet is kind of similar to Oyster by Rolex, 3-link, polished in the middle, a little bit smaller outside links, but there's definitely a little bit more spacing in between each links. You can see much larger spacing. Actually has a folding clasp, pretty impressive. Construction very solid, not the thickest I've seen, but pretty solid, with a secure safety lock on top with the Zenith star. The famous El PRIMERO, Zenith manufacturer, Swiss made. What a beauty. What a beauty. Very nice. So the dial, obviously it's white dial, and everyone knows if you follow Zenith, the signature 3 sub-dial colors, the sort of the dark navy, the dark gray, the anthracite dark gray in the middle and the light gray on the left. And they're a little bit overlapping with each other, unlike Daytona Speedmaster. 3 individual sub-dials are completely separate, but these are always overlapping a little bit. Some people like it, some people don't like it. It's personal preference. Date window at 6:30 p.m. or 6:30 space position. And the indexes, man, multifaceted. It's not just a single rectangle. I mean, very nice. That provides a little bit color reflection on all the indexes. I think the hands are rhodium plated, for anti-corrosion. Super Luminova, Super Luminova on the tips for nighttime legibility. So normal chronograph, you have the regular running seconds, which is the light gray at the 9 o'clock, which is the same case here. A normal chronograph would have had a 60-minute counter at the 3 o'clock and a 12-hour counter at the 6 o'clock, most traditional chronographs. But this one is different, and the most traditional chronographs will have a tachymeter here on the outside for you to look at the speed or, of a race car in theory, based on how quickly the time goes by. This one's different because this one measures 1/10 of a second. So the outside, the bezel, will be used for that purposes. And this light blue measures 60 seconds. So one round, this little hand here, only 60 seconds. And this gray in the 6 o'clock measures 60 minutes. And this long hand, normal chronograph will go 60 seconds, one round. This one will go one round in 10 seconds. So that's how you basically measure when this starts running. You look at this as seconds, look at this long hand as 1/10 of a second. So let's give it a try. Start. So you will see it takes about 10 seconds. So when this small hand goes to 10, this one hits 12. See that? So it just hit 10 here. So by the time this one goes to top, it will hit 20. Boom, 20. So in theory, how are we going to read in between? So let me stop. So basically, you read the second hand. So this one looks like I'm at 20, not quite 28 yet, 27. And here's a little bit over 0.7, so 27.7. Well, if you want to be precise, 27.72 seconds, not quite 28 seconds. That's how you measure the 1/10 of a second. You use the second plus the 1/10 on the black outside. Stop. So right here, I think it's a little bit harder to see, but it looks like I'm 30, almost 39, well, almost, yeah, I think almost 40, whatever the number is. It's a little bit harder to see because of the hand of this end of this 1/10 of a second hand has a star. You see that? It's a little nice touch. It's blocking, whatever. Let's just say 39 or 38, 38.86 seconds. So that's basically what that is. It's almost 39 seconds, but not quite. So that's how it works. And if you want to go back, continue push, stop, if you everything going back. So this one, you see, it has moved 1 minute 40 seconds, so almost at 2 minutes. Let's just let it run to 2 minutes. So this will jump into 2 minute mark. Almost 2 minutes. This one will jump to 2. It's not really jumping, I guess it's moving. It's not a flyback, so when you push this, it doesn't do anything. So if you want to stop the counting, you just stop here. So everything stops. If you want to continue again, you press again. But if you want to, if you're done, press this, everything goes to 0. Pretty neat. Let's take a look on my wrist. Okay, on my wrists are relatively small, 6.5 inches, 16.5 centimeters. So 41 millimeter case 46.8 lug to lug. Definitely don't look too big, all right? It's well within the width of my, you can see the end here is well within the end of my wrist. If I tighten that up, totally, I mean, almost the edge of the lug almost hugs my skin very nicely. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty neat. It's not too big. I mean, you know, slightly thick, 13.6. Not too bad. I mean, it's medium weight, 150. Don't feel like too heavy. And if you tighten it up, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Side view. Very nice. I mean, again, you know, Zenith is really famous for the chronograph. If you want something a little different, I mean, it's a kind of cool thing to show your friends. Hey, look, I can check, you know, 1/10 of a second. You know, isn't that kind of neat? But practicality is probably, for most people, I think it's less practical when you have a regular chronograph where you track 60 minutes and 12 hours, especially if you travel a lot for flights. But you know, overall pretty nice. Price-wise, it's $11,000 in the US plus sales tax. 11000, 11,000. I mean, obviously, if you buy on the gray market secondary, it's going to be below 11,000 because even though, you know, we loved El PRIMERO, you know, movement, it just, you know, very few watch command secondary market price higher than MSRP. Let's just be honest. And the same thing for Zenith. I think I've seen one recently, you know, maybe 10,400 for almost brand new one, you know, $600-700 cheaper for brand new. Used, actually, I've seen, you know, 8,000-ish, almost 15 to 20% below retail. At the used market, very good condition used. So yeah, it's a very neat piece. I mean, if you wanted something different, you like Zenith, you know, maybe you can take a look at this 1/10 of a second Zenith Chronomaster Sport with white dial. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.